Welcome back to another episode of Let's Talk About It with your host, me, Kenny Harris. Today we have a special guest in the building, as always. This one is a little bit extra special just because of the work she does and the person she is. As you know, to some of the viewers, this is Joyce, Joy Dixon. So, Joy, thank you for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it. I just want to jump right in though. So, you do a facet of things, multiple things. So, make clothes.
I know how.
You know how, yeah. So you make clothes, you design sneakers, you work.
I know how. I don't do it no more. I know how.
You know how, you don't do it no more.
No, all right, but I know how.
Okay, you work with kids, you work with adults, you stay in a training somewhere, all right? Like you just, there's nothing that you don't do. You fix floors in houses, you put roofs on houses, you know what I mean? You put tint on car windows, like you do it all. Like
oil change.
Yeah, where the hustle come from?
Not having.
Not having?
Not having. And then when you're able to spell able, then hey. Like once you get motivated, it's like you got goals in place, you know what I mean? And you goal driven, it's like that's where the hustle comes from. Like I gotta have it. I want more. I want better. Like I was at this point before. I don't ever want to go back. I done felt it. You know what I mean? So it's like that's where the hustle comes from. Yeah.
So I see that hustle too. It trickles into your kids, into your offspring. So now you got some kids that are older. They're out on their own.
My oldest will be 20 Saturday.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, that's deep.
She's in the Army.
Right. And you only 30. That's crazy. Damn.
That's thank crazy. You. Yes.
Yeah, but your oldest will be 20 Saturday. She's in the Army. And what's your youngest?
My baby will be 10 next month. In November, he'll be 10.
Gotcha. Yeah. So that's the baby. Then in between, you got all those other ages and teenagers.
Yeah. I got 16-year-old at Dale Castle.
Okay.
She hustle hard. She's something.
Right.
She got a
Lala, right?
Lala. Yeah. Lala got a mobile nail spa salon. She makes waist beads. She work and she cook. Yeah. Right. She lit. Then I got a 15-year-old. He's 10th grade at Salesian. He hustle.
Right.
He like to do meal preps and he just, I don't know, they all got something going on. Clothing line, Love Savage. Black Friday, my boys dropping their clothing line. And it's not like no t-shirts that, nah, they got some apparel.
Okay.
It's lit.
Yeah, so
I'm looking forward to it for them.
Good. So when they watch your hustle, is that where they get it from? Like this is just second nature now? Like this is just what we do?
I noticed like over time now, you know what I mean, now that I'm in my career and I'm able to pretty much be flexible, I'm able to pay attention more to my kids. I see a lot of stuff that I'm doing and that they pick up, like good, bad. I know they get it from me. I know they get it from watching me. And I find myself telling them all the time, like explaining why I do things the way I do it so you don't have to. You know what I mean? Like, I come home, my dinner in the microwave. I ain't never asked for that. You know what I mean? I have never once left the house and was like, I left this out and cooked this, make sure dinner ready when I get home. I have never once said that. And it's been going on for like at least 2 years. I come home, my dinner in the microwave between that 15 and 16-year-old.
And that's just from watching you prepare meals. So you never actually really just taught them. They just was always there.
They liked to cook with me, and they picked it up. And it's like, well, I know how to cook, so why should she come home and cook? You know what I mean? That's the mentality they got. Like, I know how to do it. Like, she working all day. Like, they think like that.
Right.
Because I constantly, you know what I mean, them being younger and tell them stuff, and I teach them all the time. I'm very transparent with my kids. Like,
so you tell them stuff like what?
You can't. it's very rare that you're going to be able to get something for nothing in life. You know what I mean? So it's like, all right, well, if she out working all day and we up to date, we don't miss a beat when it comes to fashion, when it comes to taking trips, whatever, you know what I mean? If she could provide and do all this for us, then like, darn, let me play my part. Like, and they speak like that, so I know they think like this, you know what I mean? Because this is the way they talk. So it's like, yeah, why is she coming home to her house looking crazy? You know what I mean? I don't go home to I go home to a clean house, because in their head, like, I'm great, ask her for something. What I look like asking her for something and I ain't done did nothing for her. You know what I mean? Like, right. Yeah, they think like that. So, yeah. Like, example, the other morning, I wake up, bathroom clean. I ain't asked nobody to clean the bathroom. My son cleaned the bathroom. Later on in the day, he want to ask me, you know, when he get home from school, what else do I need him to do around the house? Do you need anything done? And I didn't need anything done, but I know what's coming. So today, here it comes. Right. I'll be going to buy sneakers tomorrow. He wants to go to a game tomorrow. Right. But he understands, like, don't just come asking me for nothing. You know what I mean? What did you do? Right. You know what I mean? Same way y'all at that age, same way I pour into y'all should be able to pour it back. I don't want nothing from y'all financially. You know what I mean? Yeah. Give what you can, and they do.
That's in the form of a meal, cleaning the house, and all that
good grades. You see what I'm saying? That all that comes with it. Right. Good grades. Yeah. I don't ask nobody to work and get a job. It helps because they're expensive, but they do what they want to do with their money. They earned it. You know what I mean? So, but
how was it then? You know what I mean? Because you named. Well, I'm not. You didn't name. You called out the ages of your kids. So 5, right? 5. All right. So it's 5 of them. How was that on you, like as a parent, and just
I get asked that a lot, right? Yeah. And I don't know. I was like lucky. Ain't none of them ever was a crybaby. You know what I mean? Like they all was good, decent kids. You know what I mean? Every last one of them smart. You know what I mean? But it never was hard for me. Like everything was kind of like routine and structured. It never was really hard. Like everybody, and I'm dealing with 5 different personalities. None of them is the same. Right. You know what I mean? Like, and I look at them, you know, when it comes to parenting, and I look like over the years from the oldest to the youngest, and it's like when I get down to my youngest, I be always messing with them like they so independent and so grown. I be telling them, I'll be 40 with a 1-year-old. When I turn 40, I'm having a 1-year-old because y'all don't pay me no mind. And I know how I do this now. I know how I send one to spell, man. Like, I got it. Like, I mess with them and say that all the time. And then you'll get my 16-year-old. She be like, yeah, I know you can. You know what I mean? But it's like, it be a joke, but it's just like crazy.
And they like, go ahead, Mom, have another one. Go ahead.
Yeah. Like, the rest of them, they don't pay me no mind. My 16-year-old, she always feeding. That's like my best friend for real. She always feed into what I be talking about, what I got going on. But it'd be a joke, but I say that because, like, when I look at my kids from the oldest to the youngest, it's like, you got greater, like you learn stuff. Like my oldest one, we grew up together, so we was learning together, you know what I mean? So I didn't teach her a whole lot. I was 17 when I had her. Okay. You know what I mean? So it's like, I was 17 when I had her, so I look at her and she like so spoiled, it's crazy. At 17, if I asked her to wash the dishes, she'd be halfway grade cry. You know what I mean? But the 16-year-old, she do dishes with no problem, and she can cook you a full-course meal. Right. Then that 15-year-old, you come home, he done cleaned everything. He got OCD for real. You know what I mean? He got it down pack. He gonna come home with good grades. He gonna clean up. He gonna cook. Then I got my 13-year-old where he ain't doing none of that, but he like a genius for real. Right. Like, it's crazy. Like, you talk to him, it's like you talking to a 35-year-old. And I find myself asking all the time, like, how did he get like this? You know what I mean? He like...
Oh, he's flipped the switch or something?
Yeah, seriously. And then my 10-year-old, he 10, he could beat you in chess like he's something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He can beat me in chess?
He could beat you in chess.
Me or...
He can beat you in chess. Yeah. Hold on, because I'm thinking me and you talking. I keep forgetting about the camera. But yeah, he's seriously 4 moves. This what's up.
Wow.
Yeah, he lit. But he's so funny. He been rapping since he was 2. And I'm talking about like he rap, freestyle artist, and he funny. He's like a comedian. He was a comedian for real at 6. Right. He grade be 10. And the school don't even know he funny for real.
Oh, because he go there and he about his work. I'm here to get the work, get these good grades.
He get leadership awards. He's never not got honor roll. He's in 4th grade. You know what I mean? So it's like, I remember a time, and it's funny, I think I told it before, but I remember a time we're riding to school in the morning and we rapping because we listen to drill music. We listen to whatever in my car, right? We listen to, they know the difference. But anyway, we listen to music and we pull up to the school and he stopped and he put his jacket on. He was like, all right. He said, I done argue with my baby mom. He said, she mad at me about the kids. He was telling the whole story. He was like, yeah, he was like, and then my ops beefing with me. I say, I don't got time for this right now. I got to get out and go in here and save the day. He get out the car. He like, hi, how you doing? Good morning, sir. You had your coffee, Miss such and such. He is such a ham. His personality is crazy. And he look back at you like, and keep it moving. He's something. He's funny. He's funny. Wow. I'm telling you, I talk about my kids all day long. They funny.
So do you realize how blessed you are then when it comes to those kids?
I do.
Like, do you really take it in?
I do.
And you say, wow, these kids are amazing. Because a lot of times people will say, you know, you can't have your kids listen to rap music. You can't have them be exposed to this. Well, we can't control what our kids are exposed to a certain extent. But, you know, being out in the environment, in the city, or being wherever they at, because the kids are all ages right now, and then cell phones is running rapid. The internet is crazy, right? It's all on the game, talking trash and all that good stuff.
Yeah, the problem comes with that though. People don't like to face reality. Like, we are in a new world. This is this is really a new world. The times that we once knew, like when we was coming up, we are never going back to that. And people was not facing reality. You know, same way we was singing and rapping, the grown people music, we was coming, it's the same thing, but the music is different. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. And you got to monitor. And then if you can't, because you can't be around these kids 24/7. The music is on the school bus. The music is on the YouTube. They got cell phones. They got tablets. They got friends. You know what I mean? They turn them on to this music. They going to hear. You can't be around your kids 24/7. You know what I mean? So it's just like, make sure when you know they listening to this. I listen to everything that they listen to. I wake up too early in the morning in my house. They can't put nothing past me. Everything they listen to, I listen to. You know what I mean? Because I gotta see what's going on. Right. And I'm listening to the music, and if it sounds like some bullshit, and I'm straight telling like, yeah, listen, stop, pause, and I'm going to explain to them why it's some bullshit. And if you don't think it's some bullshit, you gotta explain to me why you don't think so. Like, why is this valid? Like,
can they ever tell you why it's valid?
Sometimes, especially that 15-year-old boy, he gonna tell you if he feel like it's valid, and they always know their feelings is valid. You know what I mean? Like, I can't think for them.
That's
you know, regardless, I can always let them know my opinions on things, but they gonna do what they chose to do. Especially at the ages, I got 4 teenagers. You know what I mean? So it's like.
Have you always been that way though, of allowing them to have their voice and
no.
being opinionated? When did you get to that point?
Like even with my kids, there was one point in time, like with 5 of them, like, yeah, it's 5 of them. Somebody got to be something. Somebody got to be a doctor. Somebody got to be a football player. Now at the age, it's 5 of them because going through school, going to trainings, working in schools, working with other kids. I have a son with an IEP, you know what I mean? Learning that's a whole nother system. You see what I'm saying? It's like you learn kids, and then once you get this information and you get this knowledge, then your way of thinking changes. So now your parenting skills change. You know what I mean? And that's how that goes. So now it's like where it used to be like one of them going to be something. Now it's like, oh, every last one of them going to be something. Whether I chose it or whether I agree with what they do, they're going to be great, every last one of them. And this is what I know. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I'm for sure. Like,
so, did that come from your career path? Like you said, so you changed up. Obviously, you're working with kids, you're dealing with kids, you're going to the trainings. So is that what made you create your parenting platform, where you speak to parents and talking about reality? So is it reality parenting or reality mother? Which one is it? I forget.
A little bit of both, but on Instagram it's reality mother.
Okay.
But
is that where that came from though? So you
no, actually, it was more of my parenting that led me to my career path. So I've always worked in daycares. I was working in daycare since I was 18 years old, you know what I mean, off and on. But and kids was always my thing. I always gravitated to kids, you know what I mean. So it really came from my son though. So again, I have a son with an IEP.
So it came from him.
It came from him. So at kindergarten, when he first started school, like I noticed all these different behaviors, you know what I mean, problems that he don't have at home that I see at school, and then it's just like something going on with him. I know something going on with him, so I do put in all of my time into that. Doctor's appointments, research, internet, you know what I mean? Before Google was great as it is, now Google is like my biggest tool, you know what I mean? But him, like working with him and seeing how the school system was handling us when it came to him, by me not knowing so much, and then not knowing I am who I am, you know what I mean? You can't say something to me like, oh, a squirrel died because of this, because I'm going to Google and I'm going to some books, I'm going to the library, and I want to know if it's valid, if I don't believe what you're saying. You see what I'm saying? So, and that's how I was with my son. Every time you turn around, I'm on the internet, I'm at the library, I'm at this, because something is going on and y'all half-stepping. So now I know more than what y'all think I know. So years go by, now when y'all think y'all great run circles around me, no, stop, pause, because this goes this way and this how this is, and no, you know what I mean? So now it's like, how many other parents is they doing this to? How many other parents is struggling with these kids with these IEPs, and they telling them whatever they want to hear, whatever they think, and they going to hear, because I was that mom one point in time. You go in there and I got questions, but I don't know how to say it, so I don't say nothing. Then these meetings, this goes on for years. You know what I mean? Like they saying stuff, even if you know it ain't right. Like the ball is in their court, they do what they want, and then you know, no. Now it's like no. And then you realize it, and now when I got a voice and I'm letting them know what's going on, like, cause this is my son. At the end of the day, I'm an unconditional mom, and they all I got. Nobody grade mishandle them. I don't mishandle them. You know what I mean? If ever I disappoint them, it's on an accident. You see what I'm saying? I'm not letting nobody else do it. I've been disappointed too much. You know what I mean? As a kid, I'm not letting nobody else do it. So I done enough disappointing them. You know what I mean? So from there, it's like, he was like my learning experience. I got to help these other moms out here with these kids with these IEPs. So because I see firsthand how the schools is treating these kids. Like, my son was in Bancroft kindergarten, and they told me he had ADHD. He's never been to school before, for real. You know what do you mean he got ADHD? You know what I mean? So, and again, I know growing up in school, you think Ritalin, you think all this other stuff when they say ADHD. But then there comes a time, now you're an adult, now you're a parent. What is ADHD? Now I'm looking into ADHD. Now I'm studying ADHD. What else could this be? You know what I mean? It's just crazy. But that's how I got into my career path, and me doing community work. That's just like something I've like always done, even as a kid. It's just natural to me. Like, but now that I'm adult, it's like, oh, you can expand, you can do it for more people. You know what I mean? It's like, it's lanes out there. So is that where Scholars
Turf came in at? So is that strictly based for parents probably dealing with the IEP, or they don't know that they're dealing with it, but let me take your child, enhance their abilities?
So again,
develop them.
Me being who I am naturally, like, I'm passionate about my people. I always been, you know what I mean? So now when I get older and I'm in these trainings and I learn stuff like adverse childhood experiences and the brain development of kids, you know what I mean, and adults, and now I'm understanding like a lot of stuff, adult behaviors come from stuff that was done in their childhood, you know what I mean? Like trauma. Whether it be you being cussed out all the time, not so much as you having to be molested or beaten or anything. It could be something as small as you being freaking emotionally abused, you know what I mean? Mentally abused. It don't always have to be physically, and you learn people, you know what I mean? It's like,
wow, that's beautiful.
So like, from that there, it's like I always, from knowing stuff like that and learning, now I'm more like, oh, my people, something is really wrong with my people. Like, we really suffering from mental health out here, and it's not being talked about. You know what I mean? Stuff like that. So once you learn and then you talking about it. But yeah, so Scholars Turf came because I'm always trying to find systems and solutions when it comes to my peoples, right? So it was like COVID was in effect. I got friends who can't get purchase of care because they make too much. But they care $100 and something a week. They can't afford that either. So now it's like they know people who looking for childcare, and every time you turn around on the internet, people is on here like, where can my child go? I gotta work tomorrow. The schools is closed. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what? Let me find a space. And I found a space, and it's like, I really want to feed people. So now it's like, oh, you got this space, you got this here. You can put a food pantry in here.
Right.
Now it's like you working with these kids. These kids really don't know self-care. They don't know hygiene. They don't know, nobody's teaching them. Like this is like a big deal. It's important. They need to know this stuff. Like, and you working with these kids and you see this like, la, like, let's do a hygiene closet. So now we got a food pantry and we got a hygiene closet, and then we got to decide who has access to it. Right. You can't limit food pantry for real, because who you want to limit to? You can't just say seniors, because this 20-year-old down the street with these 3 kids. Right. The state ain't, you know, the state ain't work for shit here for the time, for real. Like, being honest, like, her food stamps probably ain't covering it. She probably got a little piece of job, and they done cut her food stamps all the way down. She working 15 hours a week, and they done cut the food stamps all the way down. So she gonna need food too. So it's like the food pantry is open to anybody in the community. Then it's like, what if they way over West Side, ain't nothing over there open, and they don't have no money, they don't have no food pantries over there that's open today. Like, what if this food, it's a food pantry here, anybody need to come here and get some food. It's a food pantry, but we got a limit on it. You can only come twice a month, you know what I mean? But we hook you up. We got a deep freezer in there, we got a refrigerator, like, and that runs solely off of donations. So I love when people give Scholars Turf donations. We take all food donations. But anyway, so the hygiene closet, now it's like, these people out here growing, we ain't gonna be giving them deodorant and all this other stuff, like, because that stuff is expensive. You got the food banks and all that helping with food. Ain't nobody just giving you deodorant, rags, soap. Nobody just giving you that. You know what I mean? So we got to monitor that. So it's not like the high schoolers. The hygiene closet is only open to high schoolers. You got to be in high school. Any high schooler, 9th through 12th grade, they can come to Scholars Turf, get any self-care products, for all the way from wash rags to shaving cream to sanitary napkins, you know what I mean? Anything for self-care, lotion, like whatever. We got it, Q-tips, hairbrushes, combs. We got it down there, seriously. But that's what that came from. So in the midst of that, I was trying to figure out how to do remote learning, like far as like childcare and all that. It's like, you don't really got childcare because you ain't providing daycare services. So I opened up remote learning, and it had stipulations because I wasn't providing daycare services, so childcare services. So if they didn't have a Zoom schedule for the day, then they couldn't come. You know what I mean? But as long as they was in school, they could come, because now you assist them, because people even work at home, moms. You can't assist these kids when they on Zoom. That's a whole nother job for real. Yeah. People look at Zoom like, oh, the kids ain't doing nothing but on the computer. No, that's a whole job, trying to get them to pay attention, because I'm on Zoom. I probably got 4 Zoom meetings a day, and I'm constantly moving boxes, separating people, the women up the top, the men down the bottom. It's boring. And these kids got ADHD, and I don't care what you say, whether you diagnose with it or not, everybody got a little bit of ADHD in them. It's like, so they need to be monitored. They need help. They need to constantly be redirected. So that's how remote learning worked. They had to have a laptop, bring a laptop in there, and $15 a week. Yeah.
$15 a week?
$15 a week. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And if they had a sibling, it was $10 for the sibling. Yeah.
Wow.
$15 a week.
So we really
that we was doing remote learning.
Taking care of people. So anybody can come. Yeah. Basically, you don't have to fit a criteria.
We do gotta keep the lights and the internet on. So I don't partner with nobody. I don't have like any like major funding or anything coming in.
Wow.
It's just like,
okay. So
figuring it out.
Yeah, that's good. That's great. And you're doing it for the community.
I am.
Yeah. What's the address, real quick?
800 Vandiver Avenue.
Okay. Cool. Right on the corner.
Scholars Inc. SCHOLARSINC.org. If y'all want to check out the website.
Okay.
Inquire about a program. We got tutoring.
Okay. Good.
Yeah.
So all this work that you put in, advocacy into your own kids, kids in the community, anybody on a social network platform, and you sitting there and you giving them game about reality parenting.
Because they are future.
Right, I got you. When did it become important to you though? Like, so you do these things, you kind of do them naturally, but what pushed you? What was your childhood like? What made you say, man, I'm for my people, I'm really going to be for them. All right, I'm for my kids, I got my household handled. Now let me go enter everybody else's household and give them free game, because usually people don't do that. No matter what color you are, religion, race, creed, people just don't do it. But what was it about you that said you're going to do it?
My childhood wasn't great, but compared to my friends, my childhood wasn't bad. So it wasn't really my childhood. My childhood had different effects on me as an adult versus what I do out there. What I do out there, really, all that is always based around my kids. So when I chose to call these meetings with these kids who gang affiliated and gang related and out here, I don't know, organizing gangs, and when I'm associating with these kids, that comes from, I got 3 boys, I got 3 sons. And I know as a mom, and I be trying to explain to people, right? Because people think because of who you are, they're going to hold your kids to a certain standard. Right. You know what I mean? So they look at me like, yeah, your mom do this in the community. Your mom work at this school. Your mom be at this school. Your mom be with such and such. Your mom ain't playing that. Your mom this, you know what I mean? And this is what they think of your kids, you know what I mean? And I'm like, y'all can't really hold these kids to who they related to and who their parents are, because these people develop their own perceptions in life, you know what I mean? They do what they want to do, pretty much. Once they get a certain age, you can instill what you want to instill to them. You can give them values, you can give them morals, and a lot of times that takes them a long way. You got to give it to them, but at the end of the day, you got social media, you got the media, you got society, you got everybody influencing these people. And if you a working mom like me, you can't be around these kids 24/7. You know what I mean? So it's just like them there. I pay attention to them and see what's going on. It's like my sons be out here too. You know what I mean? You can't be like, oh, if the president's son could be running up and down 23rd Street, you see what I'm saying? Looking for something, then who am I?
Right.
Who am I?
Yeah.
I ain't exempt from my kids growing up and developing a drug habit. I'm not exempt from my teenage daughters becoming teen moms. Like, I ain't exempt, but the way people, you know what I mean, their perception of things look like, oh yeah, her kids are never, you know what I mean, her kids, cause who shit? No, you know what I mean? So it's just like, I tell people all the time, and this is me being honest, right? I do a lot of work that I do, and I base all my work around kids. I try to create programs for teenagers specifically, right? Because I have teenagers, and I got a son. My son get into shit. You see what I'm saying? My boys do. I got one do more than the other, but my boys do. And I ain't great justify, and I'm not great act like I don't see what's going on, because I pay attention to my kids. Again, they can't do nothing without me knowing. You see what I'm saying? It's like, I'm trying to do everything in my power, from having my sons be one of them boys that kill your sons. I need for you to do the same, please. And if you don't know how, this is why I do what I do. This is why I communicate with these parents. This is why I communicate with these kids. Like, I ain't got all the answers, but you know what I mean? It's working a little bit. Like, try this. You see what I'm saying? Like seriously. And this is why I do what I do, because of my kids. I'm trying to protect my kids at all costs, and in order to do that, I got to protect all kids at all costs. You see what I'm saying? And with knowing this, like the food pantry and stuff like that, these kids that I'm trying to reach, they got other problems. These kids is coming from homes, they not getting nourished, ain't no food in there. They might be getting one meal, especially when COVID hit. Like, COVID hit, it was like, damn. First thing I'm thinking, like, y'all thinking like, oh, these kids, these moms is grade B. Man, these kids home, what they gonna do? They got, no, these kids is grade B home getting their ass whooped, getting on these people's nerves all day. Like, no. Pray for them kids that's home getting on them people's nerves all day and getting their ass whooped. Because that was what was going on. The child abuse rate went up during the COVID. Child abuse rate went up. But it's like, you got to think that when it's like, And I ain't justifying nothing for nobody, but I think they ain't used to that. They wasn't used to them kids being home all day. Somebody else was dealing with Johnny running up and down the damn wall. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Somebody else was disciplining Talik. By the time he got to you, he was half-ass tired. Right. You didn't have to go through this. You didn't have to go through what the school go through. Right. You know? And I know, because I got one of them sons, and it's all the time like, help me help y'all. Right. Like, seriously. Like, I don't go through the same stuff y'all go through at my house, because he don't play with me, like, not even a little bit. But I know when he come here it's play ball. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like they not used to that. And then they get home and they got to deal with that, and their mental, they been working all day. They probably arguing with the man all day. He half-ass ain't doing nothing. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So it's like, and all that's trickling down on these kids. And those was the kids I was thinking about when COVID hit. Like, y'all tell me these kids ain't going to be in school. These kids need to be in school. School is a safe haven for these kids. Right. Them teachers get on their nerves. They get on teachers' hell. But school is a safe haven because you getting meals here.
Right.
Somebody, whether they saying they love you or not, it's at least one person in there a day showing you, asking you how was you doing, like, come here. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like them kids needed them spaces, and it's like.
So do you ever, or have you ever confronted the ladies? Because like you said, there's a man who's there, he half-ass ain't doing nothing, or he just half-ass. Right? Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So we know that affects the kid, that affects the house, the home, whatever the case may be. You ever tell them, well, why you still with him? Or why you engaging in the bullshit knowing that it's affecting your kids? Now, that could be their kids or it could be a stepchild. Either way, why do women choose to entertain the bullshit versus take care of their kid, which is more important than that guy?
So, I'm going to answer this like that, right? You know me for a long time, so you know I'm pretty good at minding my business for real, right? So unless that kid tell me or something, because I don't know what's going on, you got to tell me, or somebody got to tell me. I ain't asking where that man at. I ain't asking, well, is your man helping you? Right. Is your man helping you do bills? Like, how hard is it? None of my business. I'm good at minding my business for real. You know what I mean? I got to know about it, and it got to be like a major problem. Then it's like,
So
they really like, what kind of rapport do we got that I'm ready to be comfortable with her going in there telling her business about her household? You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah. When it comes to stuff like that, like, I'm good at minding my business. You got to come and I got to see this black eye, and it's like, ho. Now it's like, I'm ready for that conversation. You can take it how you want to take it, because he ain't got no business seeing you with no black eye talking about this baby right here. You see what I'm saying? He ain't got no business seeing his mom walking around with no black eye. Now you did it. It's wrong. Right. You know what I mean? What you ready to do about that? You know what I mean? Like, yeah. So that's the way. I don't never pull nobody to the side. You got to be intimate, like my sister or somebody. Yeah, you know what I mean? Okay. And it's like, I don't care how you take what I said. You know what I mean? Because it needs to be said. Because these people is my inner circle. They belong to me. Your kids belong to me. Gotcha. You know what I mean? So it's like.
But you figure, you helping the community, right? Mm-hmm. And you like, all these kids are my responsibility because of your kids.
Well, nope, they're your responsibility, and I'm going to help you with your responsibility.
Oh, okay.
I ain't going to make them my responsibility. Okay. I'm going to try to make it easy for you, though, as I can. Gotcha. I don't know, that's just my heart. Like, I don't even got to know you. I see a mom in there, and she got all these freaking kids, and just by nature, it's just like, what size they wear? And I go do some stuff like, you know what I mean? I know people with kids that are like, y'all got anything? And I go drop it off on the porch.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like. Yeah. Because I don't need you to have that. I don't like making people feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? And then I know women. Women got pride issues bad. I have pride issues bad, especially when it comes to people doing things for them, especially their kids. You know what I mean? Okay. People got pride. So I'm like mindful about stuff like that too. You know what I mean? That's why I do stuff. It be like an open forum. Like.
Got you. All right. This is for everybody. We're going to have the event and blah, blah, blah. And you're giving a bunch of shit away.
Yeah.
Yeah, you never give me shit though.
Because people got pride issues, and even my intentions are always good. You know what I mean? I wake up every day, like, first thing I say when I get up, I pray, and the first thing I'm doing is thanking God for waking me up with a sane mind, because the night before when I went to sleep, every night before I go to sleep, I don't know if I'm going to wake up sane or not. Like I'm telling you, life kicks my ass for real. Like, I take in a lot mentally daily. Wow. It's like, and that's why I always feel like I'm talking in circles, because I take in like so much daily, but that's the first thing I say when I get up. You know what I mean? It's like,
well, when you taking it in, how you just deal with it throughout that long day? How do you deal with it? Like, you taking it in and you dealing with this?
Because it ain't one thing that I'm dwelling on. It be a whole bunch of stuff, and it's like.
And it don't break you down? Like, you say kick your
I
ass.
I crash every night, probably like 9:30, 10 o'clock if I ain't doing nothing. And then I'm back up about 2:30. It's like, and then there's new tabs in my 4 o'clock in the morning, I might got the laptop open. I sleep with my laptop on my bed. I ain't lying. I sleep with the laptop on my bed. Terrible.
Wow.
Terrible.
So, we at Scholars Turf. Reality parenting, network connect.
Network connect.
You in the community, and you with these kids, and you at the schools.
Game changers.
Game changers. How are you making time for these things? Like, how do you do it? Like,
it's so crazy, and I be like, I gotta create a new system, but I can't. It sounds crazy when I explain it, but it like works for me. Like, I do all this stuff on a daily until I'm burnt out. And I have those days where it's like, you can't get through to me on my phone. Like, if I come outside, then I'm outside by myself, you still ain't getting through to me on my phone. I might ride Philly, wherever, somewhere, take a ride, whatever. Yeah. Like, I have those days where I want my mental space, I don't feel like being bothered with nobody. You know what I mean? And my kids understand that, you know what I mean? Like, I have those days, but that come from me crashing, and I might sleep for 2 or 3 days sometimes, but then when I'm rejuvenated, I'm doing it all over again, and that's just like, it's like, Drew, it works. It works for me.
Right.
Like,
wow, you just put it together.
Yeah.
So Game Changers was probably like your first baby in a sense of programming, right? Or no? Like
The Arc.
The Arc. All right.
The Arc.
It started with the Arc, but I know Game Changers. I guess that evolved.
Arc was Evolved, Dubois,
Greg. Evolved with the internet, and you seen it. So like,
I thought you say evolved. I thought say evolved.
No, the Arc we didn't hear much about. But that was for like gifted kids, right? What was the Arc?
No, the Arc was
okay.
Before aftercare, Head Start. You know.
Okay.
Kind of like it was child care.
Got you.
Arc Learning Center.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. So then with Game Changers, how did that come about? So now you said that Evolve, Dubar, yourself. Greg, Tree. All right, Tree. All these people. Yeah. How did y'all come up with that? What that idea?
So Game Changers, pretty much, Dubar has started. Game Changer. It was like us as adults. Like, we was going down Legislative Hall, and Dubar was working for the ACLU at the time. You know what I mean? And it was just like trying to get all these laws in place for people like us. You know what I mean? People with criminal backgrounds and things like this. You know what I mean? Like, give these people second chances. People change. You know, that's what Game Changers was. And then from there, the youth program stemmed from that. You know what I mean? Disconnect to Reconnect. That's the youth program.
Okay.
It's Disconnect to Reconnect. But
So disconnect from what and reconnect?
Like, pretty much like a unlearn and relearn. You know what I mean?
Got you. Yeah,
like,
yeah.
And that's where we was learning restorative practices and all that. But yeah, that kind of was like, so from there and dealing with those kids there too, along with my kids, it's like, yeah, these kids got stuff going on out here. Mm-hmm. Like, we're in a new world. These are some different kids. These ain't the same 14 and 15-year-olds when we was coming up. And I ain't talking about dress and style, you know what I mean? Because they totally dress totally different. They shape different. It's different kids mentally. Mm-hmm. These kids are mentally different, like totally. Like, it's crazy. Like, I don't know if it's the food. I don't know if it's the whatever drug the mom's doing. You know, I'm an 80s baby. We was crack babies in the 80s. Now they dipper and pill babies. We just keeping it 100. These is different babies. We dealing with different kids with different, I don't know, chemical imbalances. These ain't the same kids. So it's just like, yeah. I'm telling you, my kids always be laughing. And if I get up early enough and I play the music real loud in the house, everybody get up, music jumping in my house in the morning, you know what I mean? If I'm in one of those moods and it's just like, all right, Greg, put my cape on, go save the day, I'm out. Like, yeah. Like, I don't know. I always wake up on something.
Right.
Like, wake up like, oh, I'm ready to do a brunch for moms with kids with IEPs because I done attended too many meetings these past 2 weeks with these parents, with these kids with IEPs, and these schools is just like.
So what's the feedback like from the school when you go in there and you like, hey, that's not what it is, or that's not what we're going to do because I did my own research and this is valid, and then you go to your reference.
The feedback is normally at the round table. It's like, oh shoot, yeah, like she ain't come here to play. Like, and I make it very clear, I do not play with adults when it come to children. Like, I make that very clear. Yeah, like let's nip that in the bud now. Like, I don't care what the curriculum say. I don't care how you post the discipline. Like, these are people too. Like, ain't that I'm big, you little, like, yeah, that ain't flying with me. Like, yeah, you want respect, you got to give it. I don't care if they 6 or 16. Like, yeah, no. No, talk to these people like they got sense, you know what I mean? And that be a problem in the school system, you know what I mean? They schools still carry that I'm the boss, I'm the chief, you the Indian type mentality, and it's like you're dealing with different kids. Y'all keep on if y'all want to.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you got more kids fighting in schools now, like they ain't afraid to disrespect authority. Y'all keep on, these ain't the same kids. You ever see those posters when they be talking about slavery and they be like, we are not our ancestors. Like, yeah, those is not the same kids that we was. They are not their ancestors. Right. Like, seriously. But the schools, they be like, I don't know, I'm an asshole in school. You know what I mean?
Oh,
I don't want to call out the school, but they know, like, there's a little while ago, I go into the school, and it's the kid in there, and they got the computer thing right there, and they sign in, and he just, while we talking, he just tapping his life away. She ought to stop. He tapping his life away. Stop. Before you know it, it's black. Now it's, why did you just do that? And I'm just looking like, and then once they get him, and he goes on another way, and I look at her, I'm like, probably because he's 5, and that's the shit 5-year-olds do. Like, it's probably no other explanation from that. He in kindergarten. Like, what did you want him to say? Like, what kind of response were you looking for? Mm-hmm. That's the only reason he did it, because he's 5, and 5-year-olds do shit like that. Like, it was, like, yeah. You know, in the school, that's me in the lobby. Like, probably, because that's the shit 5-year-olds do. That's why he did that. That's, like, the only explanation you going to get for that. Right. Because he's 5, and that's the shit they do. That's it.
Right.
And that's how I am when I go into the school. Like,
right.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
How they deal with it?
They deal with it. Do they like it? No. I know, especially when it comes to my kids and my son. My son who has the IEP plan. Yeah. It's like I come in there like, the hell she want? What do we do now? You know what I mean? It's like.
So what have they done to change or to improve after you had that conversation with them? So they trying to do some shit that's
they do what they supposed to do. Cause before you make them stand on what they supposed to stand on, they do not. Ain't no usually they don't. First of all, they don't even educate us on IEPs. They just let you know. It'll take a while for us to get an IEP. You know what I mean? You got these kids, they be. It's a difference. When you work in these schools, and I'm quite sure you know, it's a difference between the way they treat our kids and they treat their kids. It is a difference. That's just like, that's a fact. I don't care what color you are, you know that. Mm-hmm. It is a difference from the way that they treat our kids than they treat their kids. Like, they tell us that you can't have a 504 plan and an IEP plan, but you can. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? You can. Right. I was told that. I know a lot of other parents that was told that. Then I know kids with IEP plans and 504 plans. You see what I'm saying? Like, it all depends on what you say, who you know. I didn't know. I had someone who worked in the schools tell me. And again, if you don't know, you don't know. And that's why I be explaining to people. People always be like, oh, well, she dumb, didn't know. If you don't know, you don't know. Right. People don't be knowing stuff for real. You know what I mean? Like, I had somebody tell me about IEPs. I had someone who worked in the schools, you know what I mean, who said to me, listen, they pay this amount of money for each kid in a public school. Mm-hmm. You get 3 times that amount for a child with an IEP. You know what I mean? Like, they entitled to so many resources, and if you don't let them know that, they're not going to get these resources because you ain't asking for them. But how you asking for them if you don't know about them? You see what I'm saying? And then that's where I come into play. Like, yeah, you know that, yeah, he doing all that, Oh, he need a paraprofessional. What's that? Oh, let me tell you what a paraprofessional.
Right.
They said he needed to have this. Tell them you want, because then they'll tell you can't have an IEP meeting. You can only have one a year, or they don't say you can only have one a year. You'll have an IEP meeting, and then right there they schedule another one a year later. You see what I'm saying? They don't say, well, you can only do one a year, but that's pretty much what you want to get out of it.
Right.
You don't know no better. You not you if they give it that like, oh well, the IEP meeting until next year. No. What I call as many as I want.
Right.
I be up 3 o'clock in the morning thinking about a meeting from last month, and I be trying to replay what people be saying. It's like, and I send an email like, hey, can we call another IEP meeting because last month this was said, and then this incident happened yesterday, and that wasn't applied. Like, yeah, can we call them at 3 o'clock in the morning? Won't I email them? Yeah, because I forget, because I got so much going on. I got to let you know when it's on my mind. Like, yeah, they know. Yeah, and now I'm telling parents, nuh-uh, because I used to think that too. Like, what you don't like? Oh, call them and tell them you need another meeting. It needs to be written into that plan. When I say my son IEP plan is specific, it's specific.
Right.
Like, I need you to know he's a homophobic. Why is he like that? I don't know, but he is. I need, just in case something happens, y'all need to know.
We need to be prepared.
Y'all need to know. Yep. Because at the same time, why I ain't trying just, I need to cover my son too. You know what I mean?
Because if not, then you trying to kick him out of school.
But see, y'all knew. So why y'all put him in the class with this teacher and y'all knew was listening to his IEP? You know what I mean? Like, I'm very specific when it comes to his IEP. He needs space. Please don't violate his personal space. You know what I mean? Like,
he bound to hit somebody.
Not that it's right, but I know what's going to happen. So let's just avoid it and nip it in the bud. You see what I'm saying? And yeah, ain't no like I'm drilling to him all day. Like, you can't touch this, you can't hit. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, but that don't mean it ain't gonna happen.
Right.
Yeah. Let me just in case, cause I don't trust boys sometimes. Like, yeah, but seriously, like, yeah, I don't.
So how is it then managing all these things as a single parent? Like, how you do that?
I just feel like it be like what I'm supposed to do. Like, it's not. It don't like. I go to work. Like, I work as a CWA with Network Connect, right? And I work.
What's a CWA?
Community Wellbeing Ambassador, and what they do is connect people to their resources, regardless of what it is.
Community Wellbeing
employment,
Ambassador.
Substance abuse, child care,
everything, huh?
Assistance with your mortgage, assistance with your rent. You know what I mean? You need some naloxone training, I could train you in Narcan. You know, you know what I mean. But CWA does all that. But you know, and I just recently partnered with Strive. I'm in charter school in Newcastle over there with them.
Okay, so you running the Strive program?
Yeah, they a nice little group of kids too. But yeah, it's just like I don't know. It's like all of that, with me doing all that, I don't feel like I'm going to work. I never feel like I'm going to work. It's just like I get up, put my cape on, and like, that's what's going on. Yeah.
Wow.
Seriously, I never, and it's like great. I never feel like I'm going to work.
Right.
I've always feel like I got work to do. Gotcha. Not like I'm at work.
Yeah, right,
I always got work to do. You know what I mean?
That's because it's the same thing, whether you're at home or whether you're outside of the house, in a community, or you at a school, you at Scholars Turf.
As long as we're still in poverty, long as these kids still gang banging, long as these, you know what I mean, long as it's race crime still going on, you know what I mean, I got work to do. You know what I mean? Seriously. Because I got these kids, and these kids is going to have kids, and you know, I gotta lead other kids how to lead like me. So when I ain't here and my grandkids and great grandkids here, y'all doing the same for them. Like, seriously.
Right.
I need somebody to look out for them when I ain't there. So it's like, I gotta train, even if freaking 1 out of 10 of y'all get it, that's enough for y'all. Y'all won't get it. Okay. You know what I mean?
Did somebody look out for you like that?
No. And it's so crazy. When I say my kids is everything to me, they are like my greatest teachers. They are everything to me. I'm telling you, like, I have conversations with my kids all the time. You know what I mean? So, like, I most of my time, like growing up, I lived with my aunt, and my aunt was great, but at the end of the day, I was a kid. I would always have rather been with my mom. You know what I mean? I was with my aunt from age of 6 to 14. You know what I mean? I would have rather been with my mom, and I never talked about it with them, but it always did something to me. And like with that, there's like I let my kids know if ever I go through anything, if I got to lose my house and we got to live in my car, I'm gonna get it back. You gotta give me a minute. But y'all sleeping in the car with me.
Right.
Like we a package deal, that's all it is, you know what I mean? And I'm like that transparent with my kids, like I keep it real with them, you know what I mean? Like, oh, I'm gonna get it back, I'm gonna figure some shit out, but in the meantime, if we ever get to this position, like, y'all coming with me, ain't nobody going here, nobody going there, like, no, this is it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's just because you was displaced from your mom.
Yeah, and me and my brother grew up at my grandma's with my grandparents, you know what I mean? Yeah. He was in Newcastle, I was over east side.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, I ain't doing that to them. Gotcha. And now it's like so crazy because now that we didn't grow up in the same house until I was in my early teens and he was in his late teens, almost grown, you know what I mean? And that's when but now in these years, I'm like so overprotective of my brother. It's crazy. You know what I mean? He older than me, but it's like, no, like, yeah. I'm like, and I don't want my kids to be like that. Like, it's okay. You know what I mean? You know they ain't going nowhere. It'd be like times like if something happened on TV, like something happened to somebody else, and like I need to know where he at. You know what I mean? And it's crazy, and that's a messed up mental to have because it's like I don't do it. I don't try to be on him all the time, but it's like, and I lost brothers, but me and him we come from the same mom. You know what I mean? But. Right. And all of me and my siblings are tight. We grew up tight like our whole lives, but it's different with me and him because one point in time we was in the same household and then we got split up from the same household and I was missing him like crazy all them years. Nobody never asked, nobody never talked about it, you know what I mean? So I missed him like crazy all those years. So now in our adult life it's like it's me and you against the world. Right. You know what I mean? It's like, and I don't want my kids to be like that. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to protect your siblings, but your household comes first, you know what I mean? And I teach them all that. But for me, it's crazy. I remember telling my uncle this when he was locked up a while ago. In order of importance, it comes my brother and my kids. They are the same. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, seriously. And that's the way my mind works. Like, in order of importance, it comes Puda and it comes them. Right. You know, they are all in the same, you know what I mean? And my kids know all day long they ain't to say nothing disrespectful or nothing. Like, not that they would, not that they will, because he ain't going to play it. But they know the way that I program that they not going to do it. And if they get out of line, because I got boys and my kids, they human, you know. They get out of line, yeah, my brother coming over there, he want to beat up everybody. Like, yeah, you're not talking to my sister. And they're like, yeah. Right. Like, yeah. I had to tell my son, who is 13 now, he was 11 one time, and he was talking crazy, said what he had doing my brother, we playing. I'm like, listen, homeboy, I'm just keeping it 100 with you. I just met you for real. You only 11. You only 11. I just met you, huh? I just met you for real. You just got here and you do stuff and you kind of iffy. You know what I mean? I don't really know, like, you kind of iffy. I know how he riding. I know for sure how he riding. You think you ready to do anything to my brother, you ready to think again, like, straight up. Like, yeah, this ain't that. Like, seriously, yeah. That's funny. I'm telling you, I just met you 11 years ago. Right. I've been knowing him my whole life, and we done been through situations. I know how he riding. Yeah. I'm for sure. I don't know. I ain't been through nothing with you yet. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, you ain't doing nothing to him, homeboy. Ain't nothing. Yeah.
And I guess that right there builds structure within the household itself.
It do. It do.
Because we can't cross certain lines. Because something gonna happen.
Yeah. Seriously. Yeah. They know.
Wow. So to go through all these experiences, to come out on top, to be able to give it to other people, do you feel like they receive it well? Like, because you know, you giving them information like, hey, this is the IEP. Now, they even told you that. And see, they've been dealing with this for...
I got parents that'll call me like, yeah, you know, I went to the meeting, something. You know, they say, yeah, you know what I hit them with. Like, they know what's going on there, and I'm making them aware. Good. I'm making them aware. Like, because a lot of times, coming from where we come from, right in the middle of poverty, and we don't really have no voice and stuff like that. You think when you go in here and it's predominantly Caucasian, you gotta watch how you talk, you gotta watch what you say. No, I walk the way I walk, I talk the way I talk. Right. We go in there and it be, say you sitting at the table and all them, hi, how you doing? Hey, hello, how you doing? What's up, Kenny? Like straight up, like I am who I am. Right. Like, and if I got something to say, it ain't no how do I say this. Like, you want to get it how I give it to you. Like, right. Whether you like the jargon that I used or not, you want to get it how I gave it to you. Like, right. No. Why the hell? Like, no. Mm-hmm. No. Yeah.
So, the last question I'll ask you before we go. Obviously, how you operate and the things you do, queenish, right? Mm-hmm. Queenish, literally. Because you worried about not only your kids, but every kid you interact with, mm-hmm. any kid you come across. You're for the community. You're actually doing things that you know need to be done. Mm-hmm. You're not asking anybody to do it. You're just stepping into place and you're doing it. Mm-hmm. Outside of your household, is there a young lady that you're coaching up into that queenmanship? Because even as a man, we got to be a king, or we got to have one, right? Who's that young lady that you bringing up and you saying, you know what?
Outside of my household.
You're going to be the next one.
It's young ladies.
Oh.
It's young ladies.
So we got a few.
It's a few.
Wow.
It's a few.
Wow.
Yeah. And again, I talk to kids the way I talk to them, same way I'm talking to you. And that's the problem. Nothing. Yeah, no. Because that be the problem. You know what I mean? You ain't keeping it real. So now they think you don't really know nothing. Because you sugarcoating stuff and you talking in circles, they think you don't know nothing. Like, no, I know what's going on.
Right.
Like, and I let them know I know what's going on.
Yeah.
And it's so crazy. But yeah, I just had at the school, after school program yesterday, and on the way out, because let them know we're there to build social and emotional skills along with academic. But I always add my personal, like, listen, want to be that outlet outside of school and outside of the home, because sometimes you don't always feel like you could talk to these people that you interacting with every day. You might just need to let go. You're not venting a safe space where they're not going to say nothing, and that's just the kind of rapport I'm trying to build with you. Right. You know what I mean? And yesterday leaving, I had a little girl ask, like, remember when you said that we could talk to you about anything? I'm like, yeah. She like, can I take my journal home? I'm like, yeah. I took that home all night in my head. I was like, yeah, I can't wait to get that journal Monday. You heard me? I can't wait. I'm telling you, like, yeah, because if I could fix you, I want to bad.
Right.
You know what I mean? I do.
Yeah, that's good, man. Once again, I thank you for coming on the show and sharing all of your experiences, also your home life and what you're doing in the community, because
thank you.
We want to hear it, we need to hear it, and we need to know where these services are at, because a lot of times there's stuff out there and we just don't know. So now people know. In Wilmington, Delaware, 800 Vanderbilt Avenue, Scholars Turf is there, and they have the food pantry,
hygiene
closet, and affordable child care services, if you may. $15 a week.
Well, that was remote learning. And the event that school shut back down, Scholars Turf.
Okay, so what about when schools are going and you got tutoring there too?
So now that schools are going, I'm in the schools too.
Oh, okay.
You see what I'm saying? I'm in the schools too. So a lot of program we be doing is team programs in the evening programming.
Okay, the game changers, game changers.
Game changers.
Got you. Well, you know where to enroll your teens at. And if you don't hear from them and they say that they were at Scholars,
I know a lot of teen programs that's hiring, so.
Okay, all right, cool. Yep. So here you have it. Let's talk about it. I'm your host, Kenny Harris. Joy. Dixon, aka Joyce. And thank y'all for tuning in. If you want to find her and you want to go to Scholars Turf, give them the email address again.
Website. scholarsinc.org.
There you go. That's how you find it. Y'all have a good one. You know where we at. 1624 Delaware Avenue, Cigar Lounge. Thank y'all for tuning in.